my brother. Greetings, my brother. We're on the same path. The Melon Man here. I'm just connecting with my brother, Jesse, who is on the same breatharian journey as me. So it's a wonderful opportunity for us to engage and dialogue a little bit. It's hard to find others that are on this walk, that are on this path, and we need a community. All of us need a community. We all need people that we can share things with. We all need people that we can be open and honest with, and that we can trust, that will help to actually inspire us and lift up our souls. That's a community, right? A loving friend, a sharing partner, an accountability partner. Here's one of my good, loving friends in my community, Jesse. Thanks for making the time to talk with me today.
Oh, my pleasure, John. It's good, so good to reconnect with you again.
Awesome, brother.
Everything you spoke to is exactly what where my heart's been for the last few months. So it's apropos that you should sort of start us in on that note, you know.
All right, my friend. We need this. We both need this, right? It's about, it's about both of us being in our best space, because that's what this is all about.
Yeah, I think moreover, the planet needs this. I think a lot of people are feeling this inner, drive towards higher consciousness, greater health, lighter diets after, many, many years of being sick. People are just fed up, and we're ready to be well and ready to step into our empowerment and grow to become the greatest version of ourselves that we can become,
And that's what this walk is about. I mean, people, laugh and make jokes and make fun of me for some of the practices and some of the things that I do. But, it's not really about eating or not eating, or drinking this or drinking that, or, what I do or what I don't do, or what I'm giving up. It's not about that.
Right.
It's about me stepping into my light.
Yeah. Right? And I like, this idea of breatharianism, I think scares a lot of people. I think when you put ism on the end of something, it gives it a cult-like flavor.
It turns into a religion, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think of this as life cultivation. This is like energy cultivation and cultivating a good life, a happy life, a life of wellness. And there's certain tools, along the way, but, it's everyone in their own divine time and divine order. There's no need to push or rush. And I do feel this is something that's natural to everyone, and is kind of forgotten part of our understanding of our own selves. And that we live in a universe of energy, a sea of energy, and we ourselves are created of almost infinite energy. If you destroyed one of our atoms, it would make a cataclysmic explosion. And so this is the thing of it, is that most of the contempt around the subject is around disbelief. And that's often the case when a new potential scientific, potential arises. Is first it's scoffed at, and eventually it's accepted and lauded even, and it's been a very interesting path for me, the way it's just kind of arose on its own. And I think I don't know, you can speak for yourself, been sort of the same for you, this natural inclination, from a state of being less well to just increasing that state of wellness ever, and once you get going, you're hooked. You just like, why would you want to do anything else? It's just,
right. If my pain is going away, if I'm sleeping better and I haven't slept right for 20 years, if I've had athlete's foot for 32 years and now it's gone, if my digestive problems are gone, if the pain in my body is gone now, if I'm if my cloudy head is gone, if I'm feeling more happy, if I've lost 30 or 40 pounds, if I'm more energized, I'm sleeping less, I'm eating less, if I have more wealth and better relationships in my life, why would I want to go backwards?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Just up and up and up. If we can, that would be the direction. And so I'm all about cultivating that in my own life and in the life of my family and my community. I definitely see you as an extension of my community in this. And then there's just a few of us that are outspoken about it, but there are many, I think, who are on this path and very interested in it, whether it's just through intermittent fasting or raw food diets or, sun gazing. It's this thought of
Grounding, exercise,
all the various ways. There's a million ways.
getting off of tap water, stopping coffee, getting off of alcohol, going to a vegan nutrition.
Yeah.
There's lots of early steps. There's lots of plant medicine.
Yeah. Acupuncture, hot springs, massage. It's all about
chiropractic. We're all searching to try and find healing for ourselves. Yoga.
Yeah. Plant shamanic medicine, working on both realms, inner and outer, and bridging this idea of a gap between.
Losing weight and keeping it off.
And feeling well all the time.
Overcoming cancer, overcoming arthritis, overcoming diabetes, overcoming pain in the body, eliminating heart disease because our parents died of this or that.
Our natural state is a state of health. I've been studying herbalism for 12 years. Ayurveda, Chinese traditional medicine, sort of native or folk medicine, indigenous wisdom traditions, and all of them say the same thing, that in our own balance we are medicine, and everything in the universe is medicine. And it's when we're out of balance that we cause disturbance in the world. And it's about integrating these 4 elements of earth, wind, fire, and water, and that we have all of these within us. And so, like we were talking about, doing this energy cultivation work, this life cultivation work, making sure you're getting pure, clean water, rain tank water or distilled water or Berkey filtered water or spring water, or you're into urine therapy. I'm a little shy, but I'm eager to get into it. I peed on my foot the other day and I was like, all right, I did it.
Everyone's at a different place, right? Everyone's at a different point. And you don't have to do this or you don't have to do that. This may be right for you. That may be right for you. It's all about natural healing. And natural healing isn't like a straight line. And natural healing isn't a right or wrong. Natural healing is what's coming into your life, what's been drawn to you, what information and knowledge resonates with you, what vibration is right for you, what vibration lifts you up. That's what's right for you. You've got to learn how to listen to your intuition. You've got to learn how to listen to your inner voice. We're talking about awakening that inner voice. We're talking about lifting up that inner child. We're talking about connecting to that soul force energy within us. This is soul awakening. This is spiritual awakening. This is Kundalini energy. This is connecting to the power within, the giant within. Deepak Chopra talks about the collective unconscious, right? Tony Robbins talks about the giant inside, right? This is all the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same stuff.
I like to consider it in the terms of our thoughts, and our consciousness isn't even ours. It's the earth's thoughts. It's the Gaian mother thinking through us. And even this thought with breatharianism, I think there's this accuracy of the breath, because your breath, is everything. And when your digestion is empty, when your intestines are empty, you have a tertiary lung. And your lungs produce DMT. Everybody's looking for the, shamanic plant medicine, but all of that chemistry is within us. And we can open it up through breath work, through, meditation, through exercise, fasting, altered states, of consciousness that help us open up to the potentials and the possibilities of the quantum universe. It meets the eye and our usual idea of, that which is visible is all there is to this universe. It's the most narrow part of the bandwidth of this giant spectrum of electromagnetic energy
And
that we're immersed.
you can choose to live there if you like, living only in the physical universe. If you want to engage your life in that way, that only thing that's true in this life is my car and my house and my wife and my bank account, and everything that I can see is my visible reality, and that's what life is. And science has not proven anything to me other than that, so that's what's the truth. If you choose to live there, that's fine. But you know what? If you start bumping into some issues, pain, sleeplessness, insomnia, cancer, heart disease, gaining weight, if you start noticing emotional distress, if you notice you're unhappy, if you notice that your relationship is breaking down, or you've lost your job, or you've lost your house, or you've lost something, you've lost your relationship, you're in pain, you're in trauma, well, then maybe you're going to open your mind up and realize, hey, maybe there's something more to success than just my job and my paycheck and my car and my house and my physical things that I can see. And what I've been told to do, because I've been doing everything that I'm supposed to do. If I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, then I should be filled with joy. And if I'm not, then something must be wrong.
Yeah, it's a ruse. It's actually a misnomer. We should be becoming spiritual billionaires, because that's where the juice is at. We have everything within, and we don't need. This is another thought that's come around to me after my, I did my year of juice fasting, and just had my sort of anniversary a few months ago. And just this whole idea is a meditation that's been ongoing of like, well, what's outside of the universe that feeds the universe? Does the universe feed itself, or does it eat something outside of itself? And if we are reflections of the universe as a fractal hologram of the universe, wouldn't it also make sense that we can feed on that which is from within our hearts? That our heart is actually a 0-point energy device. And that it's a singularity point of cosmic energy.
Self-sustaining. The universe is self-sustaining. It doesn't eat something.
Right.
And similarly, we are self-sustaining. We can be if we choose. That's a choice we can make.
Right. And it's this whole thing of perception and mind. Everything is mind, Mind creates the reality. And we, as conscious creators or unconscious creators, contribute to that reality for the collective. And we're all one. So we all experience this collective experience. And so all the more reason to be responsible for your creation, because it's not just about you. It is about you.
We need to take responsibility.
Yeah, and it can be about you from that place of what would seem selfish is more like self-love, if you can step into it in the right way. And then from that place, I think your relationships really build. So it's this whole thing, like you're mentioning, I think, of relationships, that our relationships feed us, and that's our relationship to work, and our relationship to the earth, and our relationship to our family, and our relationship to our community.
Relationship to money, or the relationship to substances in our life, our relationship to the earth, to eating meat or eating animals or not eating animals. That's all about how we're relating to our world. And if we want to change what we're getting in our world, we need to change our relationship with our world, or with our money, or with our substances, or with our wife, or with our husband, or with our kids, or with our friends, or with our enemies.
And doesn't it just make sense that you just want to build and build and build that, and just like have more and more fun with your family and your community, and and smooth out those rough spots with the enemy, so it's not drawing your energy out of you, and you can feel that sense of completion there, and you can just go on to a more loving space. And that's something I really value about whether it's breatharian or, vegan, or even, meat eating diets, taking that sense of responsibility for yourself, taking an attitude of caring, and then being non-dogmatic and non-judgmental towards other people with respect to it.
Because we've all been there. I was a meat eater, a very humongous carnivore. So how can I be non-compassionate towards other people that are eating meat? Because I've had the light go off in my life. How can I not accept someone else that has not received that message yet, or hasn't accepted that message yet, or hasn't made that change yet? I'm no better. I'm a spirit being and they are a spirit being, and I'm perfect as I am and they are perfect as they are. If I start loving myself, then I really see who and what I am and how I was confused. Then that makes me and allows me to be compassionate with someone else. So I've got to learn how to love me before I can love someone else. And I can see, oh my gosh, I see how I made that mistake in myself and how I wasn't loving myself. Now I can understand why they are not loving their self and why they're making incorrect demands upon me, because they don't love themselves. They need something more from me.
And I do believe this is a huge part of this path of like acceptance, self-acceptance and acceptance of others, and it's part of this, the way I understand it is through this life cultivation, the Taoist way of life cultivation and Wu Wei, non-doing, where you realize that the universe is working on your behalf and on behalf of everyone, and that everyone's internal guides are telling them what they need, and, the confusion comes in, I know with myself, through this ahimsa diet, it's been very healing to me just on the level of like, nonviolence. It's so important to me because I feel like there's so much trauma in our culture and so much violence in our food system and our language, in our culture, our media and movies and music. And, how do we reform? To me, it's not even about breatharianism. It's about how do we form our culture, to be well, to be in wholeness and to be in balance and to be nonviolent, And I have lots of friends who are like hunters, and most of my family eats meat. I'm the only vegan. And now, this is a thing where it's really nice to meet up and talk with you, is to share, is that I'm on this path quite on my own out in the country, in a normal family situation and everything. And so from that place of compassion, you want to lend your experience and understanding, but I've learned over the years as an herbalist and as, a father and a family man, you ask when you offer when asked, you share when people come to you and they see how well you're doing and they see that shine in your eye and that you're trim and that you're fit and that you're, and they're ailing and having trouble and they're like, what are you doing? And I tell them, I'm fasting and I'm like juicing and it's like and exercising and it's great. I feel fantastic and I have all this energy and I'm coming up to 50 and I can see that this could go all my life, and it's such a wonderful thing, and you want to bring them into the fold. Similarly, they want to bring you. They want to come eat, come. You're getting too skinny. You're worrying me a little bit. Like this breatharian thing, this is kind of crazy. Do you know you can't actually do that? I come from, like, my upbringing is in the scientific community in Los Alamos, New Mexico. And like 9/10 of the people there are like hard-edged scientists, so I really get a lot of flack. But that's part of my nature anyway. I'm a black sheep. I rather challenge this status quo than adhere to it. And so, I don't mind going there, but it is this thing of how to do the communication nonviolently and have a nice sharing and, bring people into this healing, this potential through breath, through diet, and just those two simple things, can cut away so much of the clutter of thought and question, just try it.
And I think you touched on a couple of awesome things there. One is, and we need to discuss both of them. One is friends, and one is family, and or and the other thing that I think we touched on there that we need to talk about is you know being enthusiastic and being patient with others, right? So I've been guilty of just being so enthusiastic by my healing that I'm feeling and seeing and feeling in my life that I get
Totally.
so exuberant that I want to share it, but
Yeah.
then I get all of this negative flack, right? And then that makes me feel poorly, or I get into engaged disagreements with people, and I'm creating a negative energy for myself, or for an obstacle for others. And that's a mistake, right? That's a mistake that I made. It's like that person that comes back to Jesus, and then all of a sudden wants to get everyone to join Jesus, right? Like
Hmm.
it
Yeah.
you're just so you've felt the light inside of yourself, right?
I've been there with that exuberance, and you just want to share it. It's like your heart is literally, when your digestion clears. I don't know, and I'd love to hear your opinion on what your feeling has been. And Ellie Tom talks about the Kundalini falls upward. I totally have felt this to be true. When you clear your gut, your energy moves into your heart. And if you can't get out, if you're constantly in digestion, thoughts of sex, survival, lower root chakra,
Waiting for that next meal, preparing the meal, eating the meal, filling your belly so full that you can't get the energy coming up, that you're getting the energy of the food, overpowering the more subtle energy of the Kundalini, or the more subtle pranic energy, or the chi energy, or the spirit energy, or the inner child that's within you, whatever you want to call it. It's all trying to get up and come up and express itself in your life, but you can't think it or feel it because you're drinking coffee so much. And that gives you a great big punch, right? You can't feel anything else because you got all this coffee, and you're drinking wine, or you're drinking food, or you're eating crackers, and you're thinking about the food so much that you can't feel the subtle, gentle energy that's rising up inside of you, that Kundalini. And sometimes people say, I go on a fast and I felt a dizzy spell. Oh my gosh, they think it's bad. No, it's the Kundalini. It's coming up.
it's like, have you ever tried cannabis? It's about the same feeling. You get that sort of floaty, heady space that's kind of nice and mellow, and you just can relax into it.
That's not bad. That's not a bad thing.
Quite enjoyable.
Yeah,
and you can feel this warm energy coursing up inside of you, and it's really pleasant. It's really quite like calming, and this is just natural.
And if you combine it with the breath, it becomes more powerful.
And the trick is, like you were hitting on, is like integrating all of the bodies, the physical body and the emotional body and the mental body. And that's been my challenge over the last year and a half. I feel like my physical body is totally there, my mental body is totally there, and my emotional body has needed more work because of my childhood wounds. And everybody has this, and I feel like this is the main body collectively that we need to work on, and we need to share love in that way in our community, and less vitriol. Whether you're of this thing, I think everybody's feeling to a different degree. There's so many people who are accessing healing through diet, and from different ways, because then this is what we've studied and share in herbalism through Ayurveda, is that everyone has an individual dosha type that is amalgamation of the elements of earth, wind, fire, and water. So there's Kapha, Pitta, and Vata. Kapha is earth and water. Pitta is fire, and Vata is air. And so Vata people tend to be a little more tall and thin, a little airheaded. When they fast, they kind of tend to be a little more flighty. They need more regular food and a little more dense food generally, And Kapha people usually tend to be, a little more dense bone, a little more slow, maybe overweight, and you tend towards the imbalance of your own dosha type. So the trick of it is keying into your own individual body in your dietary choices, you know, to move yourself along this path, I feel, and so that you're in a gentle, balanced way. Because a lot of people, like my wife, jumped into raw food with me, and she's more kapha vata, and she really kind of suffered. It was too much cleansing right away. She had, you know, uh, two babies who didn't make it. They were born prematurely. She had three boys, our three boys, go through her body. She'd grown up not in a standard American diet with not the greatest nutrition, you know, and she needed more building foods and time, you know. And so it's this thing of healing, but being gentle and aware through your own body and awakening that inner sense of what's best for you. But across the board, fasting, man, is so helpful, as you know. And it's, you know, been an intriguing path to walk this alongside of, you know, my family and like the rest of the culture. And I'm sure you've seen it too. Every time you go to like meet at the park, or you go over for, you know, a visit at a friend's house, or you go meet up with friends downtown, there's food involved. And it can be very challenging when you're trying to not eat because of that wish for connection with your community and tribe, you know. So I'd love to hear how that's been for you. I know
Yeah.
it's a challenge for me.
Yeah. Sharing with family, sharing with friends, right? You know, interacting socially with people. It's all around food. You touched on some, you know, really key things there with your wife. Like your wife, you said she's lost a couple of kids, and emotionally she could be blocked. No doubt. We all
Absolutely.
have emotional blocks. We've
Yes.
all had traumas: loss of love, loss of a child, loss of a loved one, loss of a parent, loss of a job, loss of money, loss of a partner. It's
There's
all about loss. All of
there's
it's
so
about trauma.
there's so much. We're always healing and grieving, and wounded and healing, you know. And it's an ongoing process, and we're infinite beings with infinite karma, so naturally that would be the case,
In
you know.
other past lives, trauma that we may not even be aware of. It may be within us that we need to heal that energy. So your wife, like you said, wasn't able to stay with the fasting as much as you. Same with my wife. You know, she's bounced in and out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, she bounces in and out of it, but she's not as, you know, committed and diligent as me. But we're different people, and we've
Right.
got different circumstances and situations and thoughts and physical bodies, emotional bodies, and spirit bodies, and parasites, and fungus, and yeast, and candida, and pain, and different things in our life, and different roles. Like the mother feels she needs to be this for the family, and the father feels he needs to be this for the family. So different roles and different circumstances, and we put different attention on different things. So we're not going to have the same solution, and that's okay. Right?
Right. That actually makes it more interesting, you know, and leads to less dogmatism, you know, less of this. That's the other issue I have with isms, is they tend to have dogma, you know, involved. And so I'd
You
like to
have
see
to do
that
this or you
as
have to do that.
community, because of my love for this path and my love for the community, that we remain open and that we remain stable and centered, you know, so that because we will be attacked, but
And it's
because of
not easy to stay open and centered. It's a skill set that we learn, and when we first step into it, we get all excited and we're like, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this," and oh man, right? Then we spook everybody out,
yeah,
and nobody wants anything to do with us. But you know, as we settle into it, as we grow in our own power, as we come to realize our true self, our true nature, as we interact more with that Kundalini energy, as we learn to feel and differentiate that Kundalini energy more, and we start to realize, I feel it more now. I know what it feels like, and I know when I'm not in it. And I know when you know, my mind is saying something to me that's negative, that's my subconscious mind. That's not my conscious mind, because my
Right.
conscious mind is in contact with infinity. And my infinite source doesn't say negative things to me. My
Right.
infinite source does not tell me I'm not enough, doesn't tell me that I'm not good enough, doesn't tell me that I don't have enough money, that I don't have enough brains, that I'm not good looking enough, or that I'm not, there's not enough, you don't have enough friends, or you don't have enough, your wife doesn't love you, or your kids don't love you, or they're obviously, if they're talking to you that way, they don't love you. Who tells you that? Do you know who tells you that? Your subconscious programming tells you that. It's the same programming that tells you that you need to eat because you need protein requirements and vitamin requirements and mineral requirements and water requirements. And you're not healthy if you don't do this. And you're not healthy if you do that. And if you drink that, then you're bad. And if you don't drink that, you're good. And if you go out in the sun, you don't put UV on, you're bad. All of the stuff that's in our heads is our subconscious programming.
Mhm.
This is just what's going on. We've learned it. And we
Yes.
have to unlearn it, right?
It's-
So we're doing something, I'm seeing my customer, and this thought's coming in my head, you know, judging the person. Oh, that person's stupid, or that person's not smart, or that person's not good, or there's not enough customers here, you're not a very good trainer, or not enough people are commenting negative on your page, you're not very good, you're not very effective. You lost a client. Oh, see, you're not very good. You didn't make the sale. Oh, see, you're not very good. Oh, you lost you lost your location. You lost your job. You went bankrupt. You lost your job. See, you're not very good. Your parent, you know, you'll never amount to anything. That's all subconscious programming. We've learned it because I lost my mother when I was 18. My dad made me move out before I was 19. I lost my parents. I lost my love. I thought I wasn't good enough. You know, my first 5 girlfriends didn't like me. Their parents didn't like that I was black. I'm not good enough. Black is not good. I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. I had to heal my not enoughness, because as I kept on living my not enoughness, I kept reproducing not enough in my life, not able to pay my bills, not able to love in my relationship because I'm afraid to lose. I loved my first 5 girlfriends, so I got hurt. So I better keep me down. I better keep my love down. I better keep my kundalini down because I don't want to get hurt. That's all my subconscious programming that protects me. But there's an infinite space, a kundalini energy that comes up. It's different than that subconscious space. When I get empty, I can feel that energy. And that's how I realize, this is me. This is the true me. Not the, I'm not good enough. Not the, you lost the sale. Not the, you're tired and you haven't slept enough. You haven't eaten enough. All of that stuff, that's my programs. You haven't eaten enough protein. You haven't drank enough water to live. That's all my programs. And I can go over here into this infinite space because I've learned it, because I've cultured it, because I've focused on it, because what I focus on grows. I've grown that loving space within me. I've stepped into it. I've thought about it. I've felt it. I've been with it. I've spent more time with it, so it grows and I start to know it. The more I know it, the more I feel it, the more I affirm it, the more I feel it, the more I speak about it, the more I believe in it, the more I focus on it, the more it grows. The more it grows, the more it becomes the true me. And it starts to differentiate. Now I can, when I'm in it, I can hear that voice. I'm going, who's this asshole that's telling me that I'm not good enough? That's not me. I'm this guy over here.
Exactly.
And then I can choose to be in my power in my center, or I can choose to be my subconscious programming, or I can reprogram my subconscious mind to get into alignment with me, and I can integrate my whole self, that my subconscious is reprogrammed. I'm not saying it's easy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's simple. It's really, really simple. It's
True,
rehearsal. It's practice. It's meditation. It's grounding. It's unfooding. It's proper water. It's exercise. It's thought and word. It's a lot of different things. It's your emotional blocks. It's freeing it up. It's building a relationship with yourself. It's getting to know who you truly are. And unfooding is a big part of that.
Yes. I hear it is hard won. It's people have to recognize that this is accumulated through merits, through your trials, your tribulations, difficulty, pressures, your intention, focus, will, drive. It takes more, than, especially in this day and age, than you might realize. And it's really, oh, sorry, my dogs. It's really important that we, just be nurturing of each other. That's my main.
It's the road less traveled, and we need support along that way, right?
Yes.
We all need support along that way. And you know what? When we're around so many people that aren't in alignment with us, that don't understand this, that think it's woo-woo, or it's about something crazy, or it's something wrong, or it's something bad, or it's some sort of religion. When we're surrounded by family members who aren't supporting us, or we're surrounded by friends that aren't supporting us, or people that are eating and laughing at us, or leaving food around for us to see, and we're smelling it, and obviously it's triggering us. These are triggers.
Yes.
These are all triggers, right? And when we get triggered, then we fall into our programs. We fall into our subconscious programs.
I still work with that, after a year of, I did, just to share, I did a year of juice fasting where I dry fasted 16 hours a day and did juice, broth, or soup for the other 8 hours. And in that time, I did dry fasts every week for 24 hours and a few 4-day dry fasts. So that was very powerful healing experience. I want to press further, but after a year of that, I'm realizing that now there's more to integrate in terms of these triggers and the social pressures. It's easy to do the unfooding. This thing comes naturally. It's easy and you feel really good doing it. So it's not that hard. What's hard is trying to integrate that.
Different hards for different people.
Yeah.
Some people find this hard. Some people find that hard. Sorry to.
True. But it's easier than you think. The unfooding, especially the dry fasting, especially under careful guidance.
Dry fasting is awesome for me.
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait till I can.
I love
it. I have to clear time. I feel like a little bit to step into it, because otherwise I get whipped up in all of the to do on the farm and in the business and in the family, and so that's the trick for me, because I'd like to test the boundaries and press further, go 5, 6, 7, 8 days or more, and try that out. But
I'm only doing about 3 days dry fasting, and then I'm refeeding, and then I'm doing 3 days, 2 or 3 days, and then I'm dry fast, the refeeding, and then going 2 or 3 days, but I'm repeating it again and again. And what I've come to realize is it's not so much about stopping the food. It's not so much about stopping the food. What I've come to realize for myself is that when I refeed myself, it's actually when I start eating again that I get into the throes of the food. I want to eat. I want to eat. As soon as I taste it, I go, oh my gosh, I want to eat. I want to eat. So the thought is oh, maybe I shouldn't eat. Maybe I shouldn't eat. It's food is bad. I got to stay away from it, right? And I went through that. And I'm realizing now, no, 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 no.
No.
I go my 3 days dry and then I eat. And you know what I realize now is when I eat, instead of like filling myself up to the brim where I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna explode. I sit with that, like I'm not totally full and I want to eat. My subconscious program is talking to me. It's going, you want to eat that peanut butter. You want to eat those nuts and seeds, those heavier, more tangible foods. Now that I've eaten I drank my juice. I had my fruits. I had some salad. I went as far as my hummus, which is a little fattier and heavier. Okay, now it's a little more solid. I'm getting more solid. Like I want more solid. And I finished my hummus. I'm like, I want some peanut butter or some nuts or some, I want to go more solid, totally. Right? I want to go more. And then I go, okay.
Those are the
I want more tangible, more hard, solid food. And now this is where you got to sit and you got to go, you know, that's my subconscious mind that's talking right now.
I've found it's also part of this kapha element, this mucus forming element. It's sticky, it's clingy, it's grounding, it's the earth, it's, you know, and we do need that ground.
Protein. We want that heaviness, we want that ground. But
right.
If you stand up to it and go, hey, wait a second, that's not me. My subconscious mind wants that. My habit, my behavior, everything I've said and done has always done that. Every time I ate when I was a child, I filled myself up. Every time that I ate when I was a man as a bodybuilder, I filled myself up. That's what I know, and that's what makes me feel comfortable. So I feel like I want to be filled up.
Yeah.
But when I put myself in a space now where I'm like, I'm not filled up, and I'm feeling this discomfort because I'm not filled, I need to sit with that discomfort. Right? It's the negative part. Like, I don't want to eat because then I'm going to feel like I want to eat more. No, that's exactly it. I need to eat so that I can feel like I want to eat more. And then I need to sit in that uncomfortable and go, hey, wait a second. This is the gift. It's actually by learning how to sit in this discomfort that I learn how to live without food.
Absolutely. I think that's totally the thing.
This is it. I need to sit in this discomfort, this lighter eating, and not fill myself up, and then say, oh, actually, I sat through it today, and it wasn't that bad. Oh, I can do it.
Yes.
I believe I can do it. Once I believe I can do it, then I can. Then the next time I can eat a little bit less. I tasted the fruits and I don't have the vegetables, or I don't have the hummus. I have the salad dressing, but no hummus this time. Oh, I want that hummus. Oh, I want it. Oh, I want it. Oh, I'm not going to have it today. I'm going to sit with this right now and I'm going to feel.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
That gives you the power to deal with it.
That's what gives me the power. Sometimes I got to eat in order to get to the space where I'm so full and fat. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel good. Oh, and I go, I don't want to do that again. I have to do that 10 times or 20 times or 30 times or 50 times or 150 times. How many times is it for you? It's for whatever it takes for you to realize that you don't need to fill yourself up to the brim to be done with food. You can walk away. And someone can be eating in front of you, and you can smell it, and you can have the thirst for it and go, geez, I would love to eat that right now, but I'm not gonna. But listen, food freedom isn't that I'm not gonna. Food freedom is I can or I cannot. I get to choose.
Exactly. It's this power of self-control that you start to flex and grow, of like,
you build the muscle.
Things that we grow usually come through a bit of pain, a little bit of discomfort, whether it's like growing emotionally, growing, like you say,
physically building a muscle.
Yeah.
You got to go to the gym. You got to work it out. You got to deal with your trauma. You got to deal with your pain. You got to see how that trauma is actually my teacher. Oh, God bless that trauma.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
it's a good thing my wife walked out on me. It's a good thing I lost my job. It's a good thing I can't pay my bills. Oh my gosh, this is the blessing that I needed. And once I
Yeah.
see it's the blessing, I'm stopped being down in the doldrums because I can't eat. Oh, poor me. I can't eat. Oh, poor me. I can't pay my bills. Oh, poor me. I got cancer. Oh, poor me. I'm fat. Listen, as long as you keep thinking, poor me, then you're trapped. You're the one that's keeping yourself trapped in that low vibration energy. You can choose to change your energy and change yourself whenever you like. And it comes from accepting what's going on, accepting you can't pay your bills, accepting you lost your relationship, accepting you broke your relationship, accepting that you're not eating food right now. It's all the same. Accepting you're not drinking coffee this morning, accepting you're not drinking alcohol this morning, accepting that you're leaving your girlfriend, you're going to stop cheating on your wife, accepting that you're not eating your nuts. It's all the same thing. It's about love, and love, infinite love, is inside every single one of us. And when we want to choose to reach inside and be with it, and when we align with it, there's nothing that we need.
And it's that responsibility, taking the responsibility gives you the power, where you take responsibility for your health, where you take responsibility for your heart and your mind and own it.
Your circumstances, you created them.
Yeah. And there's no way out but through, sometimes, and it's like, I don't know, none of us are getting out of here alive anyways. We might as well have the best time we can and stretch this sucker out as long as we can. That's kind of my thought with it all.
Right. So if your wife left you, it's okay. You're going to have to be happy again anyways.
You're an infinite being.
It's
You're
gone.
going to be reborn. And so you're going to have to experience that karma again if you don't work with it.
If you can't learn how to say, okay, this is what happened to me and this is what's going on with me and I've got this cancer and I need to learn how to heal it, and you can. You can heal cancer. You can heal diabetes. You can heal pain. You can heal your relationship. You can step into your abundance. You can change anything you want to. And that means getting into the right vibration.
Yeah. It's all about vibration. Everything is about vibration. And, this loving, gentle vibration that comes from the infinite source, from consciousness itself, that is, all of us connected are, the community. That's why they call it members of the community. And we need to remember our community, and that we are all beings of light. We're all emitting this electromagnetic radiation and bathed in this sea of electromagnetic radiation and other beings and their consciousness, as an emanating electromagnetic being of light. There's just this constant interchange and subtle, dialogue going on all the time. So when your vibration changes, all of creation responds in ripples. And when you take responsibility to take care of your heart and take care of your health and take care of your life, then you just see it start. I'm a permaculturalist, I'm a gardener, and I see that so many ties and similarities. You put your energy into the land, you put your focus on the plants, you feed them and water them and give them your love, and they will grow and, shine, and we can be a benefit to the earth. And that's the other thing that's been a huge learning for me, is we're creators. We're not consumers. We are emanators of light and energy. We're not suckers and drains and, parasites of energy. And those parasites, those physical and, etheric or astral parasites, can drain your energy. And those come in those thought forms that you're holding on to that are toxic, and plugging up your healing and plugging up the flow of your divine right to be happy, healthy, and free. And that's every one of our divine rights. And so that's a passion I have about this, and that it's free to everyone. It doesn't take anything but your heart's yearning toward it. and it will actualize. And, you know, non-judging. I think this thing of you're feeding and refeeding and fasting, refeeding, fasting. I've been on a bit of that wave too. And as I understand biology and healing, this is part of the anabolism, catabolism cycle of our bodies that we have to honor as we're learning to train the body to lighter and lighter, less dense foods, and receiving cosmic energy, energy from the earth, energy from breath and other sources that are in this unseen realm of the electromagnetic universe that is this other part besides this narrow bandwidth of the visible.
Exactly, right?
Pardon me. Yeah, and so the more we can increase that loving vibration in our own heart, the more we emanate that into the creation and create that into the world, like you say. Where your attention goes, energy flows. And so when we can concentrate on that and put that first and foremost, I think this is going to be what heals the planet from all the woes we're experiencing, environmental, physical, you know, political, economic. It's all tied together.
If we come to the love within us, then we'll fix all of it. Our relationships will fix in our families, and our relationships will fix in our countries. If we all come to that space where we recognize the highest vibration within us. The highest vibration within us is love. That love energy, that love vibration is the highest vibration of this plane, of this dimension. If we start resonating with the highest vibration that is within us, if we start aligning ourselves and our life with that energy, if we start being that energy and meeting all of our life with that energy, if we start engaging all of our life with that energy, all of our relationships, all of our interactions, if we're engaging all of them with our highest vibration, then we're engaging our life with the treasure that is within us. And if we are vibrating at the level of treasure, what do you think is going to come into your life? How do you think your life will become if everything in your life is engaged with treasure? If you're putting out love and treasure, your highest vibration all of the time, what do you think is going to come back to you? How do you think your life is going to be and become if that's the way that you are being? As you learn that energy more and more and more, as you engage and put that out more and more and more, as you realize what that is more and more and more, then what do you think is going to happen to your life? How you think your life's going to go?
It's golden. And we're all truly golden inside.
We're all light inside. We're all love and light inside. But we just need to get over these thoughts. I need my coffee. I need my wine. I need my crackers. I need my bread. I need my rice. I need my potatoes. I need my pop. I need my chips. I need my meat. I need my dairy. I need my sex. I need my job. I need to make more money. I need to get this. I need to do that. And if I don't do that, I'm not good enough. All this negative shadow. I'm no good because this happened when I was a kid, and I'm no good because my dad did this, and because my mom did that, and because this happened to me, and I was molested, and I was it. I'm not belittling anybody's trauma. Everyone's been through trauma. We've all got a story. But as long as you keep thinking and talking about that energy, you can if you want. It's low vibration energy. As long as you keep thinking and talking about poor you, the victim you, about this and that, about what you don't have and what you need to get, or if you want to complain about it, the more you sit and talk about it, what do you think you're going to get more of? More of it, until you realize that you're creating it, until you stop talking and thinking and being about it, and you start thinking and talking about and being about something else. Not about the coffee, not about the vino, not about the sex, not about the money, about the real you. I'm talking about meeting, loving, and giving nurturing love to the real you, learning how to love yourself. That's what this is about.
Totally. And I love the example of John Joseph. Are you familiar with John Joseph?
No.
A vegan Ironman athlete. Done many, many Ironmans.
John Joseph is his name?
John Joseph, check him out.
Yeah.
He's in New York, and he grew up on the streets. He was in an orphanage. His parents dejected him. The orphanage ended up sexually abusing him. He was like, eating packets of ketchup and getting in fights when he was 10, and he turned his life around through his own will. He had this terrible story, but now he's a vegan Ironman athlete. He's a pillar of his community. He's out there serving food in the streets to homeless people on the weekend. He's part of the Hare Krishna ashram, teaching yoga. He's playing music, and he's completely
what has happened has no effect over what is going to happen for you going forward unless you allow it. Unless you choose to allow what has happened to have power over you. Your subconscious programming is everything you've learned and everything that's happened. It's your story that you need this and you need that. You got to do this and you got to do that. As long as you keep telling me what's in your mind, what's in your subconscious programming, what you think, you'll never get there. Because what we're talking about is not inside your mind. It's not what you think. It's your spirit. And your spirit is in between your thoughts. Your consciousness is not inside your thought. You can't think your way there. I don't think this. I don't think that. I don't think I can do this. That's right. You don't think you can do this. That's what's stopping you.
And so you can't.
And so right. You can't.
Right. And we really, anything we put our minds to do, we can do. And it's such an inspiration coming into this lifestyle, because I can think of, there's been no thing in my life that has been a greater axiom or axis of change, a focal point that was so more powerful, to let go of this neediness, this, worrisomeness,
to grab inside rather than grab what's going on, the circumstance that's making me worried, right? I got to think about making more money, or I got to think about fixing my relationship. No, I got to think about loving me. And if I love me, then I will express love. And the love that I express will fix my financial problem, will fix my relationship, will fix my substance abuse. If I love me, if I grab my center rather than grabbing at the situation, trying to find, getting fear because all I got's fear all around me, instead of grabbing at all the fear and judging myself, oh, I'm a piece of shit because this happened and that happened. No, I'm always love and light. I'm always love and light. Grab my center.
Exactly. And it's really interesting how we get this programming, this social cultural programming kind of overlaid onto our consciousness, like you were speaking to before. And it's really, I'm still, of course, working with all this, breaking up all this social patterning, and it's going to be, my whole life long, but it is the way towards empowerment, towards well-being, towards all of it. And it is your divine right, but you have to claim it. You do have to go get it. And so
you otherwise work for it.
It's not really going to happen if you...
It's simple, but it's not easy.
Exactly. Like all things, right?
Jesse, brother, I've got to take off right now. I got some other responsibilities I got to take care of, but I have loved connecting with you today, man. It's been wonderful for me to chat with you, man. I love being with you, and I'm happy to do it again. We'll do it again in another 3 or 6 months. We'll connect again, right, brother?
That sounds great, John. I really appreciate having an interchange and, sharing my heart with you on this path, and keep rocking. You're, an inspiration to me, the way you keep coming at it with your message. So much love to you, brother, and wellness and balance.
Thank you, brother.